Hi. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me for today's video, which is just going to be a catch up, chatty get ready with me. I'm going to be playing with a little bit of new makeup and a bunch of longtime favorites. Well, long time, over 6 months. That's a long time to me. Anyway, some longtime favorites and catching up with you. I feel like I haven't really sat down and filmed a chatty video and just hung out with you in quite a while. There's been a lot going on and I've got some new makeup in my collection that I want to play with. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And before you X out, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe to me. So click the subscribe button before you go and click like if you're into testing new makeup videos. So yeah, let me get my hair pulled back and we'll get into it. I have here, let's see, not that one. Not that one. This one. I have another bag here that I'm going to share with you in a moment. I'm so behind on filming videos, but if you caught my most recent upload, in my most recent video, I tried the new ABH foundation, but I picked up the wrong shade. So I went by yesterday and picked up a new shade. This is the shade that I have now. The one that I tried yesterday was, it was actually the day before yesterday now, I apologize. The one that I tried a couple days ago was too warm, 2W. It was way too orangey peach for me. It might work better when I have a tan, but I am far from having a tan. I forgot. I want to use one of the new face palettes that I have. I actually recently picked up 2 face palettes. I didn't know at the time that this was scented. I haven't used it yet, so technically I could return it, but in the past, oh God, that's heavily scented. It's the blushes. Hopefully this won't make me sick, but in the past, the Hula shade has been too orange for me, but at that time I was really, really tanned and I'm super, super pale right now. So I feel like it might've been a fair time. It might've been a good time to give it a fair chance, a fair second chance. And so I did pick this up with a gift card that was given to me for the holidays that I was holding on to and I forgot that I had. And so I spent it in February. So, you know, technically I didn't like waste any of my money or whatever on it. And I do love the palette, even if the shades don't end up working out for me at all. I really love having face palettes and I just really, really loved the packaging so much. And I just wanted it, okay? Let me live. Anyway, all right, so I'm gonna use that today and possibly, I think I'm gonna end up waiting on this palette here because I wanna do a dedicated video with this and like one of my different Tarte palettes. But today I am going to be playing with my new Aspyn Ovard eyeshadow palette. Oh, and I forgot it's got a face and a highlighter in here too, like a blush and a highlighter in here too. So I probably won't be playing with this today after all. So today I'm going to be playing with the Tarte Aspyn Ovard face and eyeshadow palette. I am excited to give this one a go. I never had that palette to begin with. But before I get into that, I'm going to go ahead now and get into testing out this new shade that I picked up in the Anastasia Beverly Hills impeccable blurring. Okay, let me try to be like a real YouTuber here. The Anastasia Beverly Hills impeccable blurring second skin matte foundation. Literally everything about the name is why I really wanted to try this foundation out, like enough to even give it a second chance. I haven't given a lot of foundations a second chance, like a lot of foundation brands. I haven't given Charlotte Tilbury a second tongue twister. I haven't given Charlotte Tilbury a second chance. I haven't given Hourglass a second chance. I haven't given Makeup Forever a second chance. I haven't given Urban Decay a second chance. What other foundations didn't work for me that I didn't go back to them to try something else? NARS, I haven't given NARS another chance. So like, you know, there's been a lot of foundation brands that are really popular with a lot of people that just haven't worked for me, sadly. But this one, I really, really want to make it work. So I picked up another shade. And I will be using my Star foundation brush that I did use for the very first time in the previous try-on with the original shade that I purchased the ABH foundation in. Ooh, I've got a loose fiber here coming out. That's not good. It's only my second time to use this brush. Washed it one time. I've got a loose brush already, like a loose bristle. That's not good. All right. Okay. Just couldn't help myself. That was a really cute little star shape. And I'm going to give this foundation a better shot this time because I'm going to actually apply the foundation. I'm going to actually apply the foundation onto my makeup palette that I have here. So That way I don't over apply too much and I have the opportunity to like blur it out and stuff. I really, really hope this shade is a better match for me than the first time was. Okay, that might be too much. A couple of squirts might be too much, but again, I was trying to pump out enough to get the thing started. Ooh, that looks like a good match. Okay, here goes nothing. Look, it's like literally blending into my hand. I'm super excited. And I did wash my brush. I really like to only use my foundation brushes one go around before I wash it. And that's why I have so many of them, because I want to have a new brush every time I apply my foundation. I don't mind using my powder brushes a couple of times before I'll wash them, but not very many. Okay, so I was able to get a much thinner, lighter application this time. Like so much so that I can see a lot more of the imperfections, quote unquote, imperfections of my skin as compared to last time, but I'm gonna go with it and just try to use a concealer to see if I can tone those down or just build up in a couple of little areas instead of building up all over the face. And this neutral shade looks like it might be a little bit too pink for me. But also I'm incredibly yellow right now because of some health issues that I'm going through. And so it's not really fair. Like I might not actually have a foundation shade that matches me right now because my skin tone is quote unquote sickly shade instead of like normal. And I don't really think that makeup brands are taking sick tones into account when they're trying to match shades. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just keep this shade and hope that it can work for me as I get a little bit more sun. Maybe the darker one would have been better in the neutral, but they didn't have it in store. And so I was going to have to try this or nothing at all. And so I was like, let me just see if this one will work because I really, really want to try this foundation out. Okay, so that really does look like skin. But it doesn't really provide enough coverage. Like I feel like I can just see way too much of my imperfections. It's just not enough coverage for my preference. So maybe this foundation isn't going to be right for me until I have a better skin day happening. So let's just see if I can build it up a little bit. Let's see how it builds up. I forgot to put my hair thing on so that I don't get foundation up into my hairs. It's hard for me to talk and remember everything that I would remember if I was like being quiet, focusing on what it is that I'm doing, you know? Okay, so I do like the way it builds up. It does build up nicely when you go in with light layers. It did provide a little bit more coverage, but I don't like it as much as I like the double wear. As far as like coverage, we'll see how it wears and stuff. If you're looking for something that will let your like freckles and beauty marks like shine through, then this foundation might be perfect for you. But because I don't really appreciate my like freckles and stuff like that shining through as much, because then that also means that acne does. But I think it won't look too bad. Let me just like finish it out with some concealer and all of that and see how it goes. What concealer do I want to use today? I definitely think the Bobbi Brown will be a little bit too peach. Let's try my darker shade of the NARS. I believe this one is Cafe au lait, and this one is Café con leche. So this one is a bit bright. And I did match that one with the first ABH shade that I tried, but I'm going to try this darker one today. I'm not going to add like too much, just enough to kind of like do what I need to do here. And see how it goes. I will say I do really like how, hold on, let me find which concealer brush I want to use today. Where's my BK Beauty brushes? I thought I took them down. hope I didn't bump you. Okay, I'm going to use this BK Beauty triangular brush that I washed and haven't used in a while, and I really like it a lot for concealer. Yeah, that is so nice. Now if I can get this side, the application down just as well, that would be great. Still working on it because like crossing over in front of me and having to use my dominant hand on the opposite side is not the same. So it's hard for me to get that light pressure that I would really appreciate having on my under eye like I do over here. Okay, I think that looks incredible. I'm sitting here staring at myself in a 5-time enlarged mirror. So what I see is a little scary. I will say that. But that being taken into account, I think the combination of those two shades and the way the ABH foundation looks on my skin, and you can see the imperfections shining through, but it doesn't look very bad. It does look like second skin, and I really, really like it with the NARS foundation. Wow. Consider me blown away. Okay. So let me see. I've got the blush that we'll do over there. I'm going to do, maybe I will use my MAC palette. I'm going to use this MAC Contour and Bronze palette since I'll be pulling into the Tarte Aspyn Ovard other shade, whatever it's called, highlighter and blush. So yeah, I'm going to be, hold on, I'm trying to get a cute picture in here. There we go. So I'm going to use my MAC face palette today after all. This is so beautiful. I haven't even photographed it yet. I'm going to wait. I need to photograph this for my Instagram. I need to kind of care a little bit about my social media. So I'm going to use my favorite contour palette, which is the KVD Shade and Light. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 109 for a little contour moment. I don't want like a super dramatic contour. I just want like something that will look good for real life, you know, because that's what I do my makeup for, but a little bit of like a film level of real life is how I like to wear my makeup. I don't like that barely there makeup look. I mean, like, I don't mind it on other people, but like for myself, it just shows way too much of my imperfections. And I feel like I definitely need more coverage than that. I will say this is not my favorite brush for this powder contour, but it just is what I grabbed right here. So I'm going to just blend it in with my cute little Wicked broom brush. Okay. And I'm not going to use the face powders. Well, maybe to clean up underneath would be nice. So let me get something for that. I'm going to use this belly brush from Amazon and just tap into a little bit of this yellow and peach shade mixed together. Just for like right there. Clean up and blur the contour a little bit. Okay, that's it for this one today. I'll do the blush last. Let's see what else. I really don't feel the need to powder my face, and I really like the way the NARS concealer self-sets. I don't really have an issue with creasing. I get more of that creasy look when I do powder, and so having, well, hold on. I said that, and I'm starting to see just a little bit of creasing, like at the lower part of my eye, not necessarily right here in my eye bags, but more of like my eye socket. So I am going to go ahead and set that area. Let's see which brush I want to use today for that. Oh, I'm going to use my BK Beauty, the pointed one, the other side. Should I use that little peach powder. I think I will, just to get some use out of it. Okay, so I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Peach Powder. I had decluttered this. If you saw my last declutter, or like a couple declutters ago, I had decluttered this in 2024. But I bought it in 2024. And I reneged on myself. I decided to renegotiate the terms of my declutter and decided, let me just go ahead and try to use this, even though it is scented and it bothers me. Because I did purchase it. I do like the way that it looks. And I'm just going to use it. Okay, leave me alone. So when I bought that new ABH foundation, I decided to also picked up my very first Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner. So I'm going to be using that today. I'm really excited. And I guess because I met a certain threshold of a purchase or whatever, I got a free ABH sponge. I think this is just like a random basic sponge, but ABH gift with purchase gave me that sponge. So that was cool. Even though I'm not really a sponge girly, but I guess they probably recommend that brush with a sponge. I mean, that foundation with a sponge. Which side is I should probably try to wipe off the concealer just so that like powder doesn't stick to it anyway. So I am going to just wipe it off on this little dry makeup remover towel that I have here in my drawer for moments such as this. I wouldn't do this with a Fude brush myself personally, but I don't mind doing it with my synthetic brushes. All right, so I've got a little bit of powder now here on the outside, and I'm going to use the, wait, did I do that right? I think I used the wrong side earlier, did I? No, I used the right side. I don't know what I'm doing. It's been so long since I put on makeup that I don't even know how to do it anymore. That's crazy. Even something that I've been doing that long. Ooh, that powder is so scented. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. I don't even need to tap anything out. I just see that I have a wrinkle there that I would like to set. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that and just set this right here. Okay, see, like it made my skin look a little bit dry, but I feel like it's going to keep it from getting super creased there, and it's just like worth the trade-off to me. So I am going to go ahead and set the rest of my face, even though I do like the way the foundation looks. I am getting pretty like deep smile lines, and I feel like I need to set a good portion of my face. I like a really, really set face, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. What the heck did I use for foundation today? I can't even remember now. Oh yeah, here it is. Hello. Literally out of sight, out of mind. It has to be right in front of me or I have no idea what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna use my BK Beauty powder brush. This is my favorite synthetic powder brush that I have for my face. My #1 favorite. Okay. Nice. Okay. I'm going to move on to my brows. I feel like my brows have gotten super thin. And like they're starting to get sparse. I know it's because of the health issues that I'm going through right now, and so it really sucks, but and I'm just like, ugh. Thankful that I had a lot of hairs to start with, I guess. So when you do your brows, if you do little bitty upward strips like that, instead of going long and sideways like this, it gives you more of like a lifted brow look instead of just kind of like looking so heavy and like down on your eyes. That's what I heard anyway. And so far I agree with that. Whenever I would like just follow the line of my hairs, my brows didn't look as peppy. And so I just do the little upward lines within the area of where I actually have hair. But for whatever reason, it does actually seem to make a difference. So yeah. And then don't forget, you know, oop, they're back really quickly. What happened? They must have forgotten something. Oh, it must be closed. Darn it. Okay, well, here comes my family being loud. Hey, y'all, I'm filming. All right, next, let me see. Do I have anything else that I can do before it's time to get into the Aspyn Ovard palette? I'm going to do... Ooh, I didn't... Yesterday I was wearing peach stock. I think today I'm going to wear... Let's try this one. What is this called? Oh, Yash. So I'm going to put on Yash and do my lips with, actually, first, next, hold on. Okay, so next I'm going to try the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner and see how that pairs with ABH. I really don't even know what shade I picked up. Here is the shade name. Is that upside down? I hope not. Oh yeah, Matte Mauve. It was the name that attracted me to it. I hope that it hasn't ever been used before because I didn't test it in store. I think it looks fine. It looks very like cool tone nude, which is right up my alley. Let me use my enlarged mirror so I can like see my lip line. Let's see how this looks. I have no lip balm on, no nothing. This is just my lips. And honestly, I feel like the shade match is pretty good to my skin. It's just a slightest bit pink, which I feel like once I'm not so yellow and sick, I will look a little bit of a healthier tone and it might be a better match. I am not sure I like this pencil very much. I mean, it's nice. It's just, I'm spoiled by my MAC lip liners, that's all. That's all I'm going to say. It's okay. We'll see how it wears. The application is a little bit difficult because it's a little bit too creamy. It goes beautifully with Yash. I think that pairs together perfectly. Like literally they look like the exact same color. So that's the new Yash in the matte silk, whatever it's called, Silkimus something or another. I need to get these together and put them away because I'm starting to, okay, I've got one in my purse over there. Anyways, I'm going to keep the lip liner. It's not my most favorite, but it's fine enough. And the reason why I don't like it that much is because it's like fading, blurring down into my skin and I can't make that stop. For some reason, it's just like happening. Wrong side, Michelle. All right. The lip liner is just okay. I like it. I like it. It's okay. But I like my MAC lip liners better. I definitely like the ABH lip liner way more than the Charlotte Tilbury that I tried in the past and the Chanel and the Pat McGrath. And I would say I like the Makeup Forever better than the ABH as far as like the formula and the application itself. So I do really love this shade though, and I'm happy that I picked it up. So, okay, lips are done. Eyebrows are done. I am ready to get into the eyes. So I picked up this Tarte Aspyn Ovard. Oh, so hold on. There's somebody walking past and dogs are freaking out. Okay. So I picked up this Tarte Aspyn Ovard eyeshadow palette. I know that this is the second time that it has released. There was like, I think it first came out like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I heard about it like well after it was gone. I don't know who Aspyn Ovard is. I know I've heard of her name, but like it meant nothing to me. And at the time I was just like not really interested in the palette anyway. So I didn't mind that it sold out before I even heard about it. But when it came back and one of my friends told me about it, which I'm so thankful for them sharing information with me, because I'm really not doing anything to stay in the loop these days. And I haven't been for like the past 6 or 8 months probably. Anyways, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I've been having issues with shipping. My packages getting messed with by the postal people or whatever. So I thought that I would try to outsmart them. And the way that I decided to get, oh my God, that is such beautiful packaging. I love this palette. Okay, I'm so glad that I ordered 2. Yeah, that's how I decided to try to get around the postal people messing with my package. I figured if I had 2 of the exact same thing, only one of them would get messed with. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened. So this is the second one of the 2. The first one looks like it was opened and possibly even swatched, but this one looks exactly the same, like exactly brand new. And so that's the one that I'm going to be using today. I'll clean the other one and like either have it for myself or give it to my mom or something like that. But yeah, so I'm going to get started with my MAC paint pot. And for me, hold on, let me show you what kind of a brush I like to apply. For me personally, I like to use a fluffy brush, if not a super dense brush. Oftentimes, I like a really, really dense brush. Where are my eye base brushes? I think they're still put away. Like oftentimes, yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I will show you my favorite kind of a brush for it. Hold on. Oftentimes I'll use like a domed crease brush for my eyeshadow primer base, and that's because it's able to blend it out nice and softly on my lid. Whereas a super flat brush, like a flat concealer style brush, a paddle style brush, is a lot harder to get it to blend out. Like it's just more effort. Do you see how easy that was to apply it in a nice even coat and not apply too much to where it gets too goopy? And then it softly like blends it out in a nice even layer so that you get a nice, good, easy, non-patchy blend for your eyeshadow that will stay all day. So that's just, if you're wondering, that's how I like to apply my eye primer, is with like a domed, fluffy blender, but like a fluffy blender that has kind of a lot of bristle. So I've got my eyes primed now, and I am really, really excited. I'm so excited about this palette. It looks so pretty. Here is what the inside looks like. This would have been the perfect bridal eyeshadow palette for me if it would have been out when I was getting married. I did my own makeup for my wedding, and no way in HE double hockey sticks would I have ever hired a makeup artist to do my makeup for my wedding day. But that's just me personally. And that's just because like I'm good at makeup. I know how to do makeup for film. I know how to do makeup for different things. And even though I didn't know how to do eyeshadow when I did my wedding makeup, oh my God, that is so gorgeous. Okay, sorry, I needed a thumbnail. Even though I didn't know how to do eyeshadow when I did my wedding makeup, my eyeshadow turned out really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and get started with this super, super light shade up here. And oops, wrong one. I hit the wrong one. Oh my God. Put this down, Michelle. And I'm going to start off with this like nice tapered blender from the Belly makeup brushes. Can I even show you the name? From the Belly. This is my Belly tapered blender. This is I'm going to use the Belly tapered blender that I got from the Amazon set, and I'm going to just tap that into this shade here to start off in the crease. So I was talking a little bit too long, and my eyeshadow base is a little bit more set than I would have liked. And because I used Painterly, this shade is really, really similar to Painterly. So you can see a little bit of a difference between that shade and the Painterly, but I feel like if I hadn't put eye primer on my eyes, you would not be able to see that shade in my eyelids. Like there's just too much natural discoloration and stuff like that. And I feel like it wouldn't have gripped on enough to my skin in order to be able to show enough pigment. So I would say definitely be sure to use an eyeshadow primer, not necessarily a concealer, but a good eyeshadow primer with this palette when you try it if you're going to pick it up. Okay, so with the same brush, I'm going to just step up a little bit to the next shade and try to do like a really simple, beautiful kind of a look. And I'm going to take this one over just a little bit onto the outer part of the lid, while I also blend it up into the crease just a little bit. Like, I got two palettes also, not only because I wanted to try to circumvent the postal people from getting handsy with my palette, and I wanted to be able to have a fresh, clean palette for myself, but also I just had a feeling that I would love this palette so much that I would be sad if I didn't have a backup of it, since Tarte likes to discontinue palettes. Speaking of discontinue, did anybody else notice the heartbreak of Tarte discontinuing all of their Tartelette palettes? All of their Tartelette palettes are gone. I thought they were just clearing out stock for like a new shipment to be sent out to stores, but no. Tarte discontinued all of the Tartelette palettes, and the only palette that comes close to one of the Tartelette palettes currently on the website is this Aspyn Ovard palette. And I'm so glad that they did end up restocking this, because apparently when they brought it back like a month or two ago, I don't know when exactly, it sold out. And so when my friend had mentioned and showed me the info on this palette, I had to join the wait list, and I got an email that the palette was back in stock, and I was like, ooh, I better pick that palette up before it's gone again, because for whatever reason, people are really into this Aspyn Ovard person, or maybe it's just the palette itself. I don't really know, but okay, I'm gonna take this really pretty shade here onto a fluffy shader from BK Beauty, and I'm gonna put that on like the middle and outer part of the lid. And honestly, I feel like that's not really very impactful. So let's see what a finger will do. Oh yeah, it feels a lot better with a finger. Oh my goodness. What a difference. Yeah, so if you have been trying to use your Tarte shades with a brush and you haven't gotten much impact out of them, use your finger. Try it with your finger before you go writing Tarte off as not having any kind of a payoff, because that's really beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna just flip it over to the other side and try to not ruin my palette while I try to mimic it with my less dominant hand. Oh my God, that is just beautiful. It's like enough of a glimmer to catch the light, but without being overly intense for like the everyday look. Okay, and so then for the last portion, I don't have really small fingers like a lot of people do, so I don't like that you have to use your finger to get any payoff, but I'm gonna use my pinky into this top little like shimmer shade here. I feel like that's gonna be the one impactful shade for highlight. Oh, yep. And so it's really hard for me to get accurate placement because I have really big fingers, but I was able to put that in that front little corner just like I wanted. So I'm glad about that. And I kind of wish that I would have tried just the satin shade to see what that looks like, but I'll do that another day when I'm doing more of the cool tone shades. So I'll do that tomorrow. Oops, I got it a little bit too high. See what I'm saying? So now I gotta like blend it on both sides. Okay. I do really like the way that looks. That's so pretty. Like literally that's perfect for the everyday. All right, I'm gonna now take this brush here from the BK Beauty eye extension set. I don't know exactly what number it is, but I'm gonna use it to, no, not that one. What is this? I'm gonna use this little pencil brush here to go into the shade up here for my lower lash line. I don't want it to be as dark as I have the outer shade up there, so that's why I went with that lighter shade, because I feel like putting it on with a dense brush would have really made it a lot darker. And I went like the outer corner to be the darkest part of today's look. But I just wanted a little something to close out this little area down here. And I'm going to use this little belly brush for my inner corner shimmer. Oh, that's a beautiful satiny matte. Like, is it a matte? No, that's definitely a satin. And with a nice dense brush like this for the inner corner, it's just enough to catch the light without being too much. And for, oh, it's so pretty. It's like got a slight hint of an iridescence pink to it, just a little bit. Really pretty. Okay. And so then lastly, I'm just going to take a big blender, blend the top and the crease all together. And there's the eyeshadow look. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out the eyes with some mascara and eyeliner, and then we'll move on to the blush and highlight from the palette. Okay, so I'm going to do that off screen and I'll be right back. I'm actually going to film that for my members exclusive behind the scenes video, the first one for March of this year. So yeah, if you'd like to watch me finish out those finishing details of this eye look, then make sure you click the join membership button, the join membership link down below in the description box of this video. I usually link the channel membership to all of my videos, so that if you'd like to join my channel and get additional content from me, as well as support me in that way, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I would love to have you join. So I'll be filming that now. I'll be right back for this video though with my eyes finished, and we'll move on to the cheeks in the Aspyn Ovard palette. Here is the finished look that I've got going for the eyes. I did use a handful of products. I've even got a little bit of like a glitter sparkle here on the lower lash line. I hope that you can see the details. But I used a couple of new eyeliners that I had here in my stash from Urban Decay to complete the look today, and I actually love them so much. Yeah, if you'd like to see how I completed today's look and watch me pull it all together, be sure to click the join channel membership link down below in the description box, and you can watch that content there. But let's go ahead and move, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the blush and highlighter in this palette now. So I'm really excited to check this palette out as far as the blush and highlighter. I typically don't like having eyes and face in the same palette, but you know, it is what it is. I do love me a face palette. I'm just going to wipe off this beautiful Joa, I think that's how you pronounce it, Joa brush that I found at, I think it's CVS. I paid $7 for this beautiful blush brush, and it has quickly become one of my favorites, like amongst my top favorites. So I'm going to see how it works today with this beautiful little pink blush here. I can't see the shade names, but here is, let's see if you can read the name right there. I hope you can see. I don't even know. There might have been too much back stuff. Like, oh, this brush picks up a lot, and whoa, that blush powdered off a whole lot. So that would have been a heavy application. I'm glad I tapped it off a little bit. Oh, this brush is so soft, and I love the way it applies product. This blush has a little bit of a sheen and a slight bit of a scent. It's very mild and pleasant. Typically, the Tarte scents don't bother me and make me feel ill. I love that blush. It's the perfect rosy pink. Like, it provides a lot of color, but it looks very natural and beautiful. I forgot to bronze my forehead today. I'm going to go back and do that. Oh, I haven't bronzed anything. That's right. That's why. Okay, I love the blush. What do you think? Now I want to try the highlighter. What brush am I going to use for highlight? I'm going to use this Nabla brush for a highlighter. Oh, wow. I didn't think it picked anything up because I really didn't see like a lot tap off, and I didn't really see a lot on my brush, but it really does. It's like it does accentuate a tiny little bit of texture that I don't normally notice there on my face, but it's not overly intense. It's like a really soft, beautiful candle, like not really candlelit because it's more of like an iridescent opal, but it's like a really soft, beautiful highlight without being overly dramatic, but definitely enough to see it. Okay. I'm going to use this little brush now that this mascara spotch is dry to just flake away the mascara from my skin. Can't believe I actually remembered to do it this time after it dried. And then also this one here. Okay. So here is the finished look with the blush and the highlighter and the warm tones in the palette. Let's count and see how many shades I used today, excluding the blush and highlighter, obviously. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I used 5 of the 9 shades. That's kind of like, well, that's a little bit more than half the palette, and that's about half the palette, and that's fewer shades than I typically use. Usually I use 6 shades to create an eye look, and I'm kind of surprised that I didn't do that today. Let me count again. 1, I didn't use that shade at all, so I did, and I didn't use this one at all. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did use 6 shades. I knew when I heard 5 shades, I was like, something about that doesn't sound right. Anyway, okay, so let me finish off the look with a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to use this fun Real Techniques fan-styled brush to just bronze the forehead a little bit. Okay. So here's the finished look for the first. So here's the finished look for my first time to play with the Aspyn Ovard Tarte eyeshadow and face palette. I really, really love the finished look. I feel like this would be a great everyday look. This would be great to go to a wedding. This would be great for your wedding if you're the bride. This would be great just for like really any occasion. I feel like because you, hold on, I got a tickle of hair on my face, okay. And I feel like the eyeshadow does give just enough oomph that you can get a fun, like neutral date night look out of the palette as well. So I feel like this is a great everyday palette for all your needs if you're into neutral eyeshadows. And surprisingly, really, really, and I really do like the blush and the highlighter too. I think that the whole palette's a win. I can't wait to use some of the other shades that I haven't played with yet today to create a little bit more of a cool toned look. So I look forward to doing that. And so I can't wait to do that in like the next time that I play with this palette. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can be and click the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload that video in the coming weeks. So yeah, that's going to do it. So yeah, that's going to do it for my first impressions of the Tarte X, what is her name? The Tarte X Aspyn Ovard eyeshadow and face palette. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm so glad that I bought 2 of them. I might not end up gifting one after all. I might end up just using this one so much that I'm happy to have one as a backup once I pan some of these shades or whatever. So we'll see how it works out. And hopefully it won't be a limited edition palette, especially since Tarte discontinued all of their Tarte lip palettes. So yeah, I am sad that this is gone. And I'm also sad that they took away the classic floral palette cover, but I guess that's how they were able to tell like the difference between some of their older stock and some of their newer stock of that palette. But I don't know, that's just my own speculations as a customer trying to put myself in the position of a business owner, which I have no idea about. So I'll stop with that tangent now. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video with the Aspyn Ovard eyeshadow palette. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to click the like button before you go. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.